The elevator doors opened on the 47th floor of Manhattan's Crowne Plaza Hotel. Victoria Chen stepped out, her elegant black dress flowing as she walked toward the grand ballroom. She was here for the Tech Innovation Gala, where her husband Marcus would sign the biggest deal of his career, a $200 million partnership with Whitmore Industries. But she had no idea that in the next 20 minutes, one careless comment from billionaire Richard Whitmore would destroy his empire and make her the most talked about woman in America. Before we dive into this shocking story, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss stories like this. Now let's see what happened when a billionaire's arrogance cost him everything. Victoria Chen wasn't just Marcus Chen's wife. She was a former nonprofit director who had spent 15 years helping underprivileged communities in Brooklyn. She had a master's degree from Columbia and had been featured in Forbes for her social work. But tonight she wore a simple black dress with minimal jewelry, preferring elegance over flash. Marcus Chen, her husband, was the 42-year-old CEO of Technova Solutions, a groundbreaking AI company that had grown from a garage startup to a billion-dollar enterprise in just 8 years. He was one of the few black CEOs in the tech industry, and tonight's deal with Whitmore Industries would take his company global. Richard Whitmore was different. At 58, he had inherited Whitmore Industries from his father and had turned it into a $15 billion empire. He lived in a Fifth Avenue penthouse, collected vintage cars, and was known for his blunt, often offensive comments. He believed his wealth gave him the right to say whatever he wanted. Tonight, he was about to learn he was wrong. The stakes were massive. This wasn't just a business deal. It was Marcus's chance to prove that a black-owned tech company could compete at the highest level. For Whitmore, it was another acquisition, another number on his portfolio. But for Victoria and Marcus, it meant everything. As Victoria entered the ballroom, she noticed the crowd: investors in expensive suits, tech moguls with their trophy wives, and waiters carrying champagne trays. She spotted Marcus across the room, shaking hands with Richard Whitmore. The deal was almost done. The contracts were ready. All that remained was the formal signing ceremony, but fate had other plans. Victoria walked toward the bar to get a glass of water. She didn't drink alcohol and preferred to stay clear-headed at these events. As she waited, she overheard a loud, booming voice behind her. "Marcus, my friend, where's that lovely wife of yours? I want to meet the woman who landed such a successful man." It was Richard Whitmore, his voice dripping with condescension. Victoria turned around and smiled politely. Marcus introduced them. "Richard, this is my wife, Victoria." Whitmore extended his hand, but his eyes scanned her from head to toe in a way that made her uncomfortable. "Pleasure," he said, his tone suggesting otherwise. Then he turned to Marcus with a smirk. "You know, Marcus, I have to say, I'm impressed. You really married up, didn't you?" Victoria's smile faltered slightly, but she stayed composed. Marcus laughed nervously, trying to deflect. "Actually, Richard, Victoria is the one who married down. She's done more for this city than most people in this room." Whitmore waved his hand dismissively. "Oh, I'm sure she's lovely. But let's be honest. Behind every successful man is a woman who knows her place, right?" He laughed loudly, expecting others to join in. A few people nearby chuckled awkwardly. Victoria felt the heat rising in her chest, but she kept her expression neutral. Marcus's jaw tightened, but before he could respond, Whitmore continued. "Tell me, Victoria, what do you do?" Besides looking pretty at these events, of course. The room seemed to go quiet. Victoria could feel eyes on her. This was a test. She could walk away, let it slide, and preserve the deal. Or she could stand up for herself. She chose the latter. "I run a nonprofit that's provided housing and education to over 5,000 families in Brooklyn," she said calmly. "I also sit on the board of 3 charitable organizations and hold a master's degree from Columbia. But I appreciate your concern about what I do, Mr. Whitmore." Whitmore's smile tightened. He clearly wasn't used to being corrected. "Impressive," he said, his tone mocking. "But let's be real. You're here because of Marcus. Without him, you'd still be handing out sandwiches in some soup kitchen." That was the line he shouldn't have crossed. Marcus stepped forward, his voice low and firm. "Richard, I think you need to apologize to my wife." Whitmore laughed louder now, looking around as if inviting others to join in on the joke. Apologize? For what? I'm just being honest. Look, Marcus, you're a smart guy. You know how this world works. I'm doing you a favor with this deal. Don't let your emotions mess it up over a little joke. Victoria placed a hand on Marcus's arm, stopping him from saying something he might regret. She looked directly at Whitmore, her voice steady but cold. Mr. Whitmore, I don't need your validation, but you clearly need this deal more than we do. Because without my husband's technology, your company will be obsolete in 5 years. So maybe you should think carefully about who's doing who a favor. Whitmore's face turned red. Excuse me? Marcus nodded slowly, understanding what Victoria was doing. She's right, Richard. Our AI platform is the only thing that can save your outdated infrastructure. You came to us, remember? Not the other way around. Whitmore's expression shifted from amusement to anger. You're going to walk away from a $200 million deal because I hurt your wife's feelings? That's the dumbest business decision I've ever heard. Marcus pulled out his phone and texted his lawyer. Watch me. The room was silent now. Everyone was watching. Whitmore looked around expecting support, but found none. People were pulling out their phones, recording. This was about to go viral. Marcus's lawyer appeared within minutes, walking briskly toward the table where the contracts sat. Tear them up, Marcus said clearly, loud enough for everyone to hear. The lawyer hesitated. Marcus, are you sure? Tear them up. The sound of paper ripping echoed through the ballroom. Gasps filled the room. Whitmore's face went from red to pale. You're making a huge mistake, he stammered. Victoria stepped forward, her voice calm but powerful. No, Mr. Whitmore. You made the mistake. You thought my husband needed you. But the truth is, 3 other companies have been trying to partner with Technova for months. We chose you because we thought you had integrity. We were wrong. Marcus nodded. Our AI platform is revolutionary. You know it, I know it, and everyone in this room knows it. You just lost access to it because you couldn't respect my wife for 30 seconds. Someone in the crowd started clapping. Then another. Within seconds, half the room was applauding. Victoria could see the shock on Whitmore's face as he realized what had just happened. A woman from the crowd stepped forward. It was Jennifer Park, CEO of Quantum Ventures, one of the largest investment firms in Asia. Marcus, Victoria, I've been wanting to meet you both. I think we should talk. We'd love to partner with Technova, and I can promise you we value respect as much as we value innovation. Marcus smiled. I'd like that. Whitmore tried to salvage the situation. Now wait a minute, let's not be hasty. I may have spoken out of turn. You insulted my wife, Marcus interrupted. There's no coming back from that. This conversation is over. Security escorted Whitmore out as he protested loudly. The crowd watched in stunned silence as the billionaire who had walked in with all the power left humiliated and empty-handed. Victoria took Marcus's hand. They walked out together, heads high, while cameras flashed and phones recorded. By the time they reached the elevator, the video was already spreading on social media. Within hours, the hashtag #WhitmoreExposed was trending nationwide. The video of Marcus tearing up the contracts had been viewed over 10 million times. News outlets from CNN to Forbes were covering the story. Billionaire loses $200 million deal after insulting CEO's wife became the headline of the day. Richard Whitmore tried to control the damage. He posted an apology on social media. I deeply regret my comments at last night's event. I have the utmost respect for Victoria Chen and her work, but it was too late. The public saw it as a desperate attempt to save face. Whitmore Industries stock dropped 8% the next day. 3 board members called for his resignation. Major clients started questioning whether they wanted to work with someone who showed such blatant disrespect. His empire, built over decades, was cracking because of one arrogant moment. Meanwhile, Marcus and Victoria became heroes overnight. Jennifer Park's Quantum Ventures offered them a $300 million deal, $100 million more than Whitmore had offered. 2 other Fortune 500 companies reached out with partnership proposals. Victoria received thousands of messages from women thanking her for standing up for herself. She became a symbol of dignity and strength. Marcus was praised for choosing his wife's respect over money, a move that many called real leadership. A week later, Victoria appeared on a major talk show. When asked about the incident, she said simply, "Respect isn't negotiable. No amount of money is worth your dignity." I'm proud of my husband for understanding that. The incident sparked a larger conversation about respect, privilege, and accountability in corporate America. Business schools started using the case as an example of how personal behavior affects professional success. As for Richard Whitmore, he stepped down as CEO of Whitmore Industries 3 months later, pressured by the board and investors. His legacy, once defined by billion-dollar deals, would now be remembered for the deal he lost because he couldn't show basic human respect. Marcus and Victoria's company thrived. Within a year, Technova Solutions partnered with 5 major corporations and expanded into international markets. They used their platform to advocate for diversity in tech and respect in business. The lesson was clear. No matter how much money or power you have, character matters. One moment of arrogance can cost you everything. And sometimes the people you underestimate are the ones who teach you the most valuable lessons. What did you think of this story? Drop a comment below and let us know. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss another powerful story like this. See you in the next one.